The Sales Perch, a weekly podcast discussing sales styles, techniques, and strategies. Today's episode is called the Option of Choice Close. Super effective. Can't wait to see how you're going to use it. Welcome to the Sales Perch with Joe Bird. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you get so much out of this podcast. Today's topic is the option of choice close. It's one of the first closes I learned how to use. Super simple, super effective. Works on your prospect's psychology. It's all the good stuff. It's all the stuff that we need as salespeople to know how to use. Use it all the time, outside of sales, in sales, everywhere. As always, I want to start with last week's episode. How did we use that topic? The delight close. How did you use that in your life, in your sales? As a reminder, the delight close is basically, giving something to get something back, being nice to build rapport to get something back. It's basically like, when your kids would, come up and tell you they love you and really, they're trying to get away with something. It's basically that on a very simple, concept. So the way that I used it is I was working with somebody else to negotiate something, to get something done quicker. And I used the delight close. I said, I know this may be outside of your standard timelines, but anything you can do to speed it up would be so much appreciated. Now, my other person was going to be more of the bad cop, right? They were going to be like, this has to be done by this timeline. But I wanted to throw out that delight close first to get, the whole concept of you get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. So I wanted to say, thank you for taking your time to do this. And if there's anything that you can do to speed this up or make this connection or do this, it would be so much appreciated. Gave them something, appreciation, and I hope to get something back. Time, connections, whatever that may be. Please tell me how this worked for you out in your world. Again, it's super simple. All this stuff is super simple. That's why it works, right? So let's talk about the option of choice close. Again, one of the first ones I learned how to do, so effective. So let's use real estate. That's my world. So let's use real estate and how I learned this and how I used it from the very beginning. Let's say you get somebody on the phone. Let's say you're talking to them and you're trying to set an appointment with them. Again, we're using real estate. Somebody came in through, an online portal like a Zillow or something, Homes.com or something like that. And they've inquired about it. And I want to go talk to them about selling their house. Obviously, to do so, I want to get in their house. I want to get in front of them. I want to get face-to-face, belly-to-belly. So I would try to set the appointment. Oh, that sounds wonderful. The next step would be for me to come out to your house. We can sit down. We can go through my marketing. I can give you some ideas of where the market value would be, and I can give you some ideas of things you might need to do to get the house ready for the market, and we'll talk about those strategies. When would work? Wrong answer. Wrong question. When was a good time for me to come over? It is so easy to not answer that question. It is so easy just to not give you what you want. You want today at 5, tomorrow at 2, whatever it may be. You want that. But we say, when can I? Or can I? What you're doing is you're basically, they can come back and just say, I gotta check my schedule. I gotta get back to you. Or I don't know, I'll be in touch. Or no, this week's pretty slammed. How about next week? So what you want to do is you want to be specific. So the next round would say, okay, well, would tomorrow at 3 work for me to come? Wrong answer. Why? Because it may not work. Either way, no is incredibly easy at that point. No, that doesn't work. Sorry. It may or may not work. No, that's not a good time. What do? How do you come back from that? You can start throwing out more times. But now you've gotten your prospect in the habit of saying no, what you don't want to do, you want to get them saying yes. So how does the option of choice work? You are giving them the perception of control, but the answers are what you want. It's pretty simple. That's sales in a nutshell. You're giving them the perception that they are driving the boat. Really, you're steering. So what do? Next step would be for me to come out and take a look at the property. We'll go through marketing, yada, 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 yada. So would today at 3 or tomorrow at 5 be better for you? no isn't really an appropriate response. They may say, hey, neither of those times actually work, and that's fine, but you've given them options. You've shown them grace. You've also been very specific. That specificity will help them look at you at a higher level. If you're open anytime, do you really want to entrust your largest asset with the person that isn't busy? I know I don't. I want to work with people that are busy. I want to work with people that are busy, that manage their time well and are able to give me their time, for sure. But I want them to be busy. If they're not, it's probably because they're not good, right? So when you're giving them choices, you're basically saying, look, I'm not available when just any time willy-nilly. It's got to be in my schedule at these preset times. These are 2 or 3 times that work for you. Which one of them is better for you? That's all in the subconscious. That's all in what you're doing without saying it. But that's why it's so effective. Because if you come out and say, I'm super busy and I don't really have a whole lot of time, these are the only times I have, you kind of sound like a jerk. And nobody wants to work with jerks. People want to work with people that they like, that they trust, that they think is going to do a good job, that they want to spend time with. That's who they want to hire. So you want to be that person. And you can make that come across with this option or choice clause without being too direct on it. So what are some other examples of option of choice? How could this work? Well, let's say you're a car salesman, right? We always like to use car sales because it's the second largest purchase people make. You're a car salesperson. You have 2 cars on the lot. What you want to do is you want to remove all the variables, because too many variables get in the way. That makes it clouds their decision. It makes it hard to make a decision. It makes it hard for them to do anything. So you want to start removing the variables. And you can do that with the option of choice. Again, perception that they are making their decisions, but you're pushing them in the direction that you believe they should go in, that's going to do the best for them. So if let's say you're a used car salesperson, you have what is on your lot. That is the only inventory you have. Well, start using option of choice to get them to whittle it down, to remove those variables. Analysis paralysis is a real thing. So you have to start removing those variables. Option of choice is a very good vehicle for doing that. Vehicle. So you could say, well, it seems to me that you've narrowed this down to the BMW 3 Series. Would you prefer the red one or the black one? Right? So you're getting them to whittle down to the BMW, and you're asking them, which one do they prefer, red or black? That's what you have. You have a red BMW, you have a black BMW 3 Series. You don't have anything else. So which one would you prefer, red or black? They can say neither. That's fine. If you've done your job up to that point, the answer is not neither. So you get them to make a choice. I do like the black cars. I've always liked black cars. Perfect. Well, let's go take that one out for a test drive, and I'll show you what everything it can do, all the features in it. It's that option of choice, that perception that they are making that choice. Again, super effective. So many examples that you can do with the option of choice. Again, my favorite being to get the appointment on the books, because it's what I do every day. My Bird Seeds podcast that went up yesterday, go listen to that episode. That episode is awesome. It ties kind of right in with this option of choice. I want you guys to listen to that. It's great. Thank you so much for listening to the Sales Perch. If you listen to Bird Seeds as well, I appreciate it. I love being able to teach. It helps me cement things in my brain better. Helps me, if I have to understand it well enough to explain it, then I have to understand it well enough, not just keep it on the top. So it forces me to really dig on these every week, which I'm sitting here in the trenches with you doing. I'm learning these, relearning, reaffirming. These are things I do all the time, but it's awesome to go back to the basics and focus on one a week. That's why I created this, because I couldn't find that. I went looking for that in the market, in the podcast world, couldn't find it, decided I must create it. Option choice, let me know how it works. Thanks for listening. Take care. Thank you for listening to The Sales Perch by Joe Bird. Having sold over 1,000 houses personally in the last 12 years, in addition to running one of the top real estate teams in the state of Maryland, I am looking forward to imparting my knowledge and wisdom, as well as sitting in the trenches with you to learn alongside you.